Okay, and we're back. Hi guys, it's Amy from One Artsy Mama. You can find my blog at oneartsymama.com. Something is not going quite right with my Periscope, which is why I asked you guys to hang on for a sec and then it kicked me off, so sorry about that. But I'm here today to share with you 8 things that I wish somebody had told me about blogging when I first started One Artsy Mama several years ago. I've been doing this blogging thing for 4 years now, and I've learned an awful lot along the way. So I wanted to share some wisdom with you, just in the hopes that if you are a brand new blogger, or just getting your feet wet or thinking about becoming a blogger, that it can help you out and not make the mistakes that I made. And if you're a seasoned blogger, you can laugh along with me because you'll remember being in my shoes. So part of what's malfunctioning here with my Periscope is that I'm not seeing any viewers, but then when I stopped the other broadcast, I saw that there were about 25 of you watching. So can you guys just give me a couple hearts or something, just tap, or a comment or something, because somehow I'm not getting notifications and I'm not sure why that is. I can't really see anything. So if you're tapping or hearting or joining, I'm not seeing any of that going on. And I'm not entirely sure why, but I'm just going to keep talking and I'm going to trust that you're there, and maybe I will see those in the replay, and then if you had any questions, I can hopefully address those. But at any point, if you want to try to tap, heart, question, comment, anything like that, just let me know that you're out there, because I don't really know what's going on. As you might know from my other broadcasts and some of my posts on Facebook and things, we are in Myrtle Beach right now on vacation, so I am actually on the beach, the hotel Wi-Fi, which is not awesome, and so I think that might be part of the problem, or it might just be a Periscope thing. But my apologies if I don't interact with you, because I can't see you, I can't see what you're saying or doing, but I'm going to just do my best to share these with you today. Yesterday, I shared my 7 top tips for growing your Periscope, and there was a contest in there that was allowing you to enter to win a $5 Starbucks gift card by tweeting me a special code word that was embedded in the video. And there's still time to enter that, by the way. So if you replay yesterday's videos, it got split in 2 parts because my husband called my phone in the middle of the broadcast. So if you go to my page and look at my broadcasts, I also uploaded them to my YouTube channel, but it's the 7 tips for growing your Periscope, and you can still enter until tonight. I'm keeping the contest open for the 24 hours that the broadcast is on Periscope, so feel free to do that. Go replay that post and enter to win a $5 Starbucks gift card. But in the meantime, thank you so much for joining in. So I'm going to get started with these top 8 things that I wish that somebody had told me. When I started blogging, I had no idea that this was ever going to become a business. I had no idea that I would ever or could ever make a penny doing what I was doing. I had stopped my job as a dance instructor because little Crafter was born, and I didn't like the hours. I had to work a lot of evenings, and it kept me away from my baby, which was no good. So I needed an outlet. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I just needed something for me. And when I stumbled across my first craft blog, which was called That Artist Woman, she's an art teacher that shares projects, and when I stumbled on that, I was like, oh my gosh, I could totally do that. I've always been a crafty person. Little Crafter and he was 2 at the time, so that was 4 years ago, and we were constantly doing things together. We had just done an alphabet month, and I thought, gosh, I have so much stuff in my head and so much stuff that we've done that I could share that, and maybe it would inspire people. But I didn't know anybody else who was a blogger. I didn't know anybody else who was trying to make a living doing it. I was just doing it as a hobby, something for myself that would hopefully inspire people, and that gave me a chance to interact with people who weren't too. So there were a lot of things that I did or didn't do when I was starting out that I would definitely change now. And so I wanted to share those tips with you today. The first of which is to choose your blog name carefully. Choosing your name is your brand, and it's a really important thing. It's how people are going to know you. It's how people are going to find you, what they're going to associate with you. And to be honest, I really wasn't careful at all when I chose my name. At the time, I was so immersed in being stay-at-home mama, and I was artsy, so I thought, oh hey, why not One Artsy Mama? What I didn't do was do my homework and check and make sure nobody else was already One Artsy Mama. And I was so embarrassed later, when I guess it was about 2 weeks later, I found out that there was, in fact, another One Artsy Mama who had an Etsy shop and who had a blog. She hadn't updated it in a while, but I felt terrible because I had just gone in and stolen her brand. And I don't believe she's blogging anymore, but I just felt awful about it. And so that's definitely something you want to do, is do your research. Make sure that nobody else is out there with your name. The other reason that you want to choose your name carefully is that you don't want to put yourself in a tiny little box. I know some bloggers are very, very niche specific, and they only do one kind of thing. And if that's what you want to do all the time, that's fine. Go ahead and box yourself in. But if you want to leave it open for you to explore different kinds of things down the road, make sure that you haven't limited yourself by what you've called yourself. So for example, you know, if you call yourself the Cupcake Lady, that really limits what people are going to think of when they think of you and how they perceive you and your blog. And they're just going to expect cupcakes. They're not going to go to your blog in a search or something like that when they're looking for home decor, for example. So you want to make sure that you're definitely thinking about all the implications down the road of the name that you've chosen, and that it's going to grow with you. You want a name that's going to grow with your own progress as a blogger and a crafter or whatever it is that you are. The second tip I have is to, once you've chosen that name, choose your handle and snap up those social media handles now. Even if you're not ready to get on Periscope and do a broadcast, or if you're not ready to be on Pinterest, or you know, whatever it is, just go get the handle and you can learn how to use it later. But the thing is, you want to maintain brand consistency. And it's so much better if across the board you're the same thing everywhere, because when people know your name, they're going to search for you on all the different platforms. And it's going to be really tricky if you call yourself different things in different places. I know this firsthand because my Twitter, just last weekend, I was finally able to change it to be in line with most of my other handles. Mine is One Artsy Mama on Instagram, on Facebook, but on Twitter, I had to be One Art Mama for a long time because that original person who had the name also had the Twitter handle. So it was very tricky because I would get mistagged, and just things wouldn't go well when I tried to interact with people, especially at first on Twitter, because they would tweet me thinking I was her, or you know, they would try to tweet me at One Artsy Mama, and you know, vice versa. So you want to try to snap up those social handles as soon as you can, so that you can have the brand consistency even if you're not ready to use the platform yet. Especially when something new comes out like Periscope. Go on there, grab it, because you don't want somebody else running around with your name. Because again, that's your brand and that's what people associate with you. And when they try to find you, they're going to search by what they expect you to be. My suggestion would be, unless your blog name is super long, you're going to want to go with, or unless it's taken, you're going to want to go with your blog name as your handle, because that's what people are going to look for first. If your name is really long and you have to go with an abbreviation, you have to do that. But just try to make it consistent across all the different platforms. Okay? So choose your name carefully and then go get it on all your social media. All right, are we ready for tip number 3? This is so weird because I still can't see you and I still can't see anything that's going on. I hope this broadcast is actually working and that you can see it. But number 3 is to, along those same lines, purchase your domain ASAP. When I started out, I was on Blogger and my URL was oneartmama.blogspot.com. And it was so hard because, you know, for yourself, when you're trying to find the website of a business or a place or a blog, you just take the name and you type it in with the .com after it. And that's what people tried to do when they tried to find me. And I wasn't there. And so it was very difficult for people who were searching initially to find my blog and decide to follow it. So what you want to do, even though it is a little bit of an investment, you want to go on something like GoDaddy.com or HostGator or one of those guys and purchase your domain, your .com, as soon as you possibly can. Because, you know, somebody else could snap it up And you don't want that to happen. You want to be in just the most logical place for your blog. I know some friends who their domains were taken, like my friend Kara at happygolucky, happygolucky.com was taken, and I think Kirsten, Sweet Tea and Saving Grace was taken. So they added the word blog in there. So they're happygolukkyblog.com, but still that's better than another kind of address that's not a .com. So you want to try to get your domain as soon as possible so that people can find you easily. This is honestly not a super big financial investment. And even if you're just starting out, it's totally worth it because you're going to be so glad down the road that you have that. And along the same lines, I get this question a lot actually from people who are just starting out. They ask, should I start on a free platform or should I start on WordPress? Because it seems like all the big bloggers and the people who are blogging for money are on WordPress. And my suggestion is just start where you know you're going to end up. The truth is, if you're going to make this an actual career and you're looking to make money doing it, eventually you're going to want to be on WordPress. It's very user-friendly. It's easy to do. I prefer the format. I really do, to the Blogger format that I used to use. It took a little bit of adjusting, but I really prefer it now. And you can customize your theme in so many ways and really make it you, make it yours. And I would also recommend that you do the self-hosted WordPress, because what's going to happen is either way, when you start on a free platform, whether it's Blogger, whether it's the free version of WordPress, eventually when you decide you want to switch over, you're going to have to pay somebody to do that for you. And it's going to be a hassle. I only know, I think, one person who ever successfully migrated her blog by herself. And I was absolutely floored because it was just beyond what I'm able to do. I know how to do some simple coding, but I don't know how to do what I would need to do in order to switch everything over. And at the point when I made the switch, I had been blogging for I think 2 years. So I had a lot of content that I was worried about and I didn't want to lose. And it's just a really stressful and a scary process because if one thing goes wrong, you lose years worth of content. So I would say start out where you know you're going to be. Just start on that self-hosted WordPress, find a hosting service that you like. There's so many out there. There's HostGator, there's GoDaddy, there's Bluehost, and I'm sure there's others that I'm not thinking of, but they all offer great features and benefits. Honestly, one of them, one is probably as good as another. Ask your blogger friends and see, take a poll, see where people are and if they're happy with their hosting. But basically, just go ahead and be where you're going to be, and it will save you the hassle and the stress of making the switch later. I know for myself, I still have broken links from when I made my switch 2 years ago in July. And it's frustrating because when people go into my archives and my thumbnail galleries and they try to find certain old projects, the links don't work, and I hate that. So I keep trying to catch that, and then I make Erin, my assistant, go in and fix them. But it's, they're still there, and we're still correcting that years later. So start on WordPress, self-hosted, and you'll be glad that you did. All right, moving on. Number 5, we're halfway. Number 5 is to set short and long-term goals for yourself. So I know that when you're starting out, you might not know ultimately exactly what you want to do, but set a couple of goals for yourself. Do you want to write a book someday, an ebook? Do you want to speak at a conference? Do you want to have a certain number of people who follow you collectively on your social media or that kind of thing? It's very difficult to measure your success by your stats because there's so many factors that go into that. So I would definitely make your goals less focused about numbers and more focused on what you're personally achieving. Did you create a product line? Are you partnering with a company that you really wanted to partner with? That kind of thing. Definitely just think about what you want to achieve down the road. You don't have to know the whole picture, but just kind of have an idea for yourself of what you want to do as a blogger. Maybe it's that you want to make a certain amount of money so that you can quit your day job. Maybe it's that, like for us, we send Little Crafter to a private school that's just the perfect fit for him. And so my blog income is what we rely on to pay that tuition. So maybe, your goal could be like mine, which is just to make enough money to send him to the school where he really needs to be. And then at the same time, don't forget to set short-term goals because those long-term goals can take a while to reach, especially if you're brand new and you don't want to get discouraged. So set short-term goals, that you can reach easily, quickly within a month, 2 months, so that you do see your progress and you're not tempted to give up. All right, number 6 Determine what your brand is about. What will you promote and what are you not willing to promote? One Artsy Mama is a family-friendly site. There are certain things that I just don't feel comfortable talking about. You will never see a lingerie review on One Artsy Mama. I am adamantly against smoking. So one of the companies, one of the middleman companies that I work with for sponsored posts, recently had an opportunity available for those electronic cigarettes. You will never see that on One Artsy Mama, because after losing several grandparents on my side and hubby's side of the family to lung cancer, I will never promote one of those products. So there are certain things, places where I draw the line. My basic go-to motto is honest inspiration for everyday life. Everything that I review is something I honestly use. So if it's not something I honestly like, I'm not going to be telling you about it. I've had times where I've accepted a campaign and signed a contract, and then when I got the product, it was terrible. And so I had to go to the company and say, look, either I can give this an honest review and tell people what I thought of it, or you can cancel the contract. And some choose each of those two options. I've done both. But basically you just have to know, what are you willing to share about and what are you not willing to share about. Personally, I do occasionally share alcohol recipes on my blog. I always stress that it's, drinking in moderation, drinking responsibly. I never have more than one drink at a time personally, but I do enjoy a good cocktail every now and then. I don't see anything wrong with that personally, and so I share it. I know some people are adamantly opposed to alcohol, and so if that's you, don't apply for those shops, and don't sell yourself and promote things that you don't believe in just to make $1 on your blog. Decide who you are, what you stand for, and stick to it, and your readers will really appreciate your authenticity. All right, 2 more. Still can't see you guys, so this is really weird and I kind of hate it, but I'm going to keep going because I want to share all the tips with you and hopefully they'll help you. Number 7 is to form blogger relationships. So one of the best things that's going to help you out along the way is to talk to other people who do what you do. You as a blogger have probably had lots of conversations where somebody says, oh, what do you do? And you say, I'm a blogger, and they just kind of glaze over and look at you like, oh, you write an online diary? They don't get it. They don't know how important we are to advertisers. They don't even know that it's a legit way to make money. I sat on the airplane on the way to Haven Conference the other week, and I was talking to the really nice older couple that was sitting next to me. They were probably in their 60s. They were going to their vacation home in Florida. And when I told them I was going to a blog conference, the lady looked at me and said, I don't want to sound stupid, but what exactly is a blog? Like, what do you do? So I explained it to her, and I ended up giving her my card, and she was super excited because she wanted to go on my site and find inspiration for craft projects to do with her grandkids over the summer. But there's a lot of people out there who just really don't know or understand what it is that we do. So in order to get the best mentoring and help that we can, we've got to get to know other bloggers. And there are lots of ways to do that. Conferences, you can meet people face to face, and that's always an awesome way to go, because when you meet people in person, it's just so much better than any kind of relationship that you have online. But there's also lots of Facebook groups that you can join into. There are Facebook groups where you can promote each other's posts, give each other some love and support, and then you can always form a private Facebook group. I've got a group of girls, we call ourselves the unicorns, that I go to when I just need advice or I need a sounding board for something. And so you need to have just a core group of other bloggers that you trust. It helps to know people who are kind of in the same place as you are, and it also helps to know people who have been blogging longer than you have and whose blogs are bigger and more successful than yours, however you want to define that, because they have been where you are and they can help you as you try to grow your own blog. And the last one is to decide and determine your off-duty hours and really be faithful about sticking to that. This is the one that I struggle with still, because as bloggers, we are kind of always on duty. We are, we all have access to our phones 24/7. I'm constantly getting notified, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope now. My phone's constantly going off because something's going on. And it's very easy to work all the time, and that drives my husband crazy. I kind of envy sometimes the fact that he can leave his work in the office and walk away. When I was a school teacher years ago, before I was a dance teacher, I taught English in 8th grade and high school for 4 years. And I could stay late at school, do some grading, but then I would leave everything on my desk and go home and leave work at work and be at home at home. And now I can't do that because the computer and the internet are everywhere, literally everywhere. So it's very hard for me to stop and to turn everything off. But you may just need to set times when you say, okay, this is electronics free. My phone goes off, my computer goes off. It's really hard for those of us who are creative bloggers because we want to make stuff all the time or shop for supplies to make stuff all the time. But there has to be a time, whether it's a day of the week. I know a good many bloggers will take Sundays off and they'll schedule posts in advance to post on Sundays sometimes. Some don't even do that. But, you know, they'll say this day is just off limits. Nobody gets me but my family. Other bloggers will do, you know, after say 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Nobody gets me but my family, or whatever, you know, after the kids get home from school, whatever it is, find the limit that works for you and for your family and stick to it because your family deserves you. And like I said, I am not awesome at that. I'm working on it. It's a struggle. But that's something that you really need to do for the health of yourself, your blog, and your family. So those are my 8 tips for things that I wish that somebody had told me when I started my blog, things that I've either moved on and worked on or things that I'm still working on, like managing my schedule. But basically, I just hope those things help you either as a chuckle to remember back when, or something that can help you as you're starting out. So if you ever have any questions about starting your blog, you can always email me at dancers4life@gmail.com. You can tweet me at oneartsymama, or you can go on my Facebook page, One Artsy Mama, and you can leave a question or a comment there. I'm so sad that I couldn't interact with you guys today. I'm really mad at Periscope right now, and I kind of want to throw it out the window, but I hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast. Hope you found it helpful. And tomorrow I'm going to be sharing about how to know when it's time to get help. Not professional psychiatric help, but when it's time to get help in the sense of a virtual assistant, somebody to help you with some of your blogging responsibilities, and how to choose somebody, what to have them do, and that kind of thing. So if you are at the point where your blog is kind of taking off and growing and you feel like you can't really manage it all by yourself, or you're not sure when it's time to take that step, just tune in, and we're going to be talking about virtual assistants, the why, the how, the when. So I will see you tomorrow. And don't forget, you can check out yesterday's tips for growing your Periscope on my YouTube channel, or you can check it out by doing a replay here on Periscope. Remember, it is 2 parts because hubby interrupted my broadcast and he's still in trouble for that. So I hope you go back and replay those, and you still have a couple hours to enter to win that $5 Starbucks gift card by tweeting me the code word that's embedded in those broadcasts. So until next time, guys, peace out.